AI, in the travel, here we go. Got that AI on the low, taking flights to and fro, booking trips in a snap with a simple chatbot flow. AI, revolutionizing how we roll. Gonna hop on a plane, feeling so.
Welcome to another episode of the Everything AI in Travel podcast, where we hear from the makers, shapers, and buyers of AI technology in the travel space. Here's your host, Tony Khan.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Everything AI and Travel podcast. And today we've got one of our special episodes in our educational series. So if you are a smaller company and you haven't got started with AI yet, this is your chance. Just follow along, 15 minutes, practical sessions, tool right in front of you. You're in the safe hands of Santiago Rodriguez, who has a PhD, he's an educator. He knows his stuff inside out. He's built tools that you can follow and easily learn from in just 15 minutes. If you're working in a company and they're not taking AI seriously, then your career is in jeopardy. This is a chance for you to get the skills that you need so that at least you are up to date, right? Now, I hope everyone really enjoys this series and gets something really special out of it. Now over to you, Santiago.
So, hello everybody, and thank you for attending this third episode of the series for using a set of AI tools, specific tools to attract high-value visitors and boost your career. And this tool here that we are going to review today is the Contextual Market Assessment AI. And just to be getting context, remember that the way to access this set of tools is just to go in here to santiagor.com free AI tools, santiagor.com free AI tools, just like it is written here under my name. And you click here and get the 9 free tools now, and you'll get a link in your email to access all the tools. And just for a quick context again, remember we're going through these 4 phases to actually learn how to use AI to attract high-value visitors. And we already reviewed the first one, which is the AI tourism expert. And now we're going into the intelligence phase, market intelligence phase, and we're going to review the context-based market assessment, right? So the tool looks like this, and it basically explains what it does itself. Assess the feasibility of conquering a market, considering 29 key factors within 5 key dimensions: the economic, social, political, environmental, and psycho-emotional dimensions. And this assessment includes the strategies to leverage optimistic and mitigate conservative scenarios. And the assessment looks like this, right? You just click here, start with step 1, and then AI will start guiding you through this process in a very organized and structured way so you don't get lost, but keeping the flexibility for you to input your expertise, your guidance, your leadership. And once again, before starting, remember the quality of outcomes you get from AI depends on the quality of how you guide AI and the context you provide to give you results, right? So AI starts here by asking you specifically that information, right? So it says, perfect, let's begin with step 1, request market or destination. So please tell me what's the source market and what's the tourism destination. So in this case, to be consistent with what we were doing with the previous tool as well and go through the whole process, we will keep using Germany as the case for the target source market and Ecuador as a destination. So I here just say to AI, okay, so the market is Germany, the destination is Ecuador. Or you can be even more specific and say the market is Germany. I'm looking to track Germans between 25 and 50, and the destination is Ecuador. And remember that I want to track people interested in nature and adventure. You can give as much context as you want. And then the AI will tell you, okay, excellent. So we will analyze Germany, source market, and Ecuador as destination and start explaining you the next step. So this AI works on a framework that I developed many years ago. I was making my PhD, but I never implemented it because a couple of times that I tried, it took me actually 2 weeks to be able to collect all the information you would require to make a very comprehensive market assessment. And with this AI, you will see now that will take you only under 30 minutes. And that's really powerful because that means that with these tools, you can have an updated market assessment based on context, which is very complicated to be aware of all the factors at the same time. So you can have that market assessment in under 30 minutes anytime you want. And you can constantly update it in order to assess whether you should adjust your strategy or not, right? So it'll take you step by step and will always ask you whether you are okay with the results it's giving you in each step, or whether you need to adjust something, right? Because remember, AI is not perfect and you are the expert here. So if you see AI is giving you some results that are not really accurate or not too relevant for you, so you can always ask AI, just like talking with a human expert, right? That just that this AI expert is available 24/7. You can tell AI, okay, I want you to research more on this factor or that factor, or just this or that, right? And now it's giving you, okay, let's proceed with step two, and we'll start researching the market. So do you want me to proceed with step two? Yes or not? I just wrote here, proceed. And it thought for 17 seconds, and you can even see the detail of the thinking chain, the thinking process, and it gives you this result. Great. Moving ahead with step two, research market. And what's going to give you AI as a result? An analysis. It goes there online and looks for all type of available information, either report, databases, news, etc., to give you a great assessment from the economic, political, social, environmental, and psycho-emotional perspectives from, in this case, the source market, conditions or context in relation to travel. And you can see even here the sources of all the information that AI is collecting for you right now. Okay. And based on that, of course, gives you a summary of in this case, the assessment from the source market, and then asks you, do you want me to proceed with step three? And step three is now research the destination. I said proceed, and it gives me the same contextual analysis, right? Economic perspectives, political, social, environmental, and psycho-emotional from the side of the destination, which in this case is Ecuador. And then let's say we agree with all this information. Remember, you can always ask AI, I want you to look more into this or that, or take this approach, right? But let's say we agree with this just for the sake of time. And it asks me, would you like me to proceed with step four? And I say proceed. And what is step four? Step four is analyze now the interrelations based on what you just researched from the source market and just research for the destination. Make an integration of both sets of knowledge and give me a comprehensive analysis, once again, from the economic, political, social, environmental, or psycho-emotional dimensions. Look here that each one of these dimensions has a specific weight, which is pre-configured in the AI. But you can say, once again, based on the factor, let's say you're analyzing a market that you know is especially sensitive from the political side right away. So you want the AI to give more influence to that. So you can tell AI simply, I want the political dimension for you to give a weight of 30% or 40% or whatever you want, right? So you have a more nuanced, a more contextualized analysis on the specific case you are analyzing. And then it gives you a little conclusion about this interrelation analysis. And then it asks you, of course, if you want to go to step five, which is rate dimensions. And these rate dimensions is a way to try to transform all this subjective analysis in some way of a more objective analysis by rating each one of these dimensions broken down in different factors, and based on a key reason, of course, from the destination size and the source market size, and given score from -3 to +3, regard depending whether this factor is very negative or very positive in this source market destination analysis. And for example, for the economic dimension, right, you have factors like exchange rates, inflation, unemployment, GDP growth, income level, travel costs, disposable income, destination affordability. And then the same from the side of the market, right? Exchange rates, inflation, etc. And it goes on and on through the political dimension and the factors. You can read all the factors here: social, environmental, psycho-emotional, etc., etc. And at the end, for example, in this case, psycho-emotional dimension, the factor, emotional timing factors, Ecuador destination, conservation, framing, holiday timing, and aid conversion. Conservation, framing, holiday timing, aid conversion. The AI qualifies that it's mostly positive than negative. And of course, you can also ask AI more details on any of these factors. You can just write here and say, AI, hey AI, give me more context and more detailed justification or sources why you say that factor 51 should be qualified as -1, right? And you can adjust whether you agree or not with this, just the same way you would do discussing this with a human specialist, right? So once you have all those factors qualified in a very detailed way based on all the research context, the next step is proceed with the calculation of the overall influence score. And basically in step 6, what the AI will do is just adding up all the pluses and minus, and we will give you a final score. In this case, it produces a plus 2.45. This is the sum of all the weighted scores. And then you go to step 7, which is provide forecast percentages based on this score. So the forecasting logic is that you have a table here from +5 to -5, whatever result you get within that range. And in this case, +245 falls within +1 to +3, which suggests a +5% forecast adjustment. And this is a forecast in relation to what? In relation to any type of data or perspective. And you can either apply this number to data you already have. Let's say you have sales data, or you have occupation data, or you have number of visitors data, and you want to forecast or to adjust based on context how much your statistical forecast will change based on this context, right? If you have these numbers, or you can just take this forecast and this percentage as a general recommendation for you to know whether the future seems like more positive or negative, right? And the AI tells you now it's a scenario adjustment and gives you two scenarios. However, considering the mixed context, I apply the following reasoning, right? Like 5% was the base, and AI says, so based on context, I suggest to consider an optimistic scenario projecting an 8% increase in interest or visitation or booking or whatever you want to apply these to. And for the conservative scenario, only a 2%. And it gives you some reasons here, right? And gives you a final forecasting summary and interpretation of all these contexts. And then it tells you, let's go to step 8. In this case, I asked to skip step 8. Why? Step 8 is optional in this process. And this is just to ask AI to go and make a second, deeper review on different news subjects or content that might have been missed in the first review. So if you want, you can ask AI and say, hey, look for more detailed information in case we miss something. And if AI gets something relevant, we'll let you know and we'll adjust all the process and ratings we just went through before. But in this case, for the sake of time, I said just skip number 8 and let's go to number 9. And step 9 are the recommendations. So based on this, all of this analysis, all this rating, all this framework, it will give you two scenarios: the optimistic scenario and some strategy on how to leverage that optimistic scenario to actually make sure you will achieve this plus 8% increase, and a conservative scenario to make sure how to mitigate the negative perspectives and you achieve at least this plus 2% increase. Of course, we're talking about forecasting the future here. So nobody has the magic ball. Nobody has like the real perfect way to see what's going to happen. Many factors are going to influence these results. And this is how forecast works with any methodology, with any specialist. I've been working on this for years. So what I'm trying to do here is to provide you with a very strong methodology that really takes into consideration as many factors as possible to make a very well-informed decision. The great difference with this AI tool now is that you don't need to wait for months and spend thousands of dollars collecting all this information. You can now, with AI and with your expertise, steer all this process in under 30 minutes and do it as often as you want. And of course, based on your criteria, you won't just take anything AI gives you. You have to do your professional work and actually see the results it's giving you, use your criteria, add your thoughts and leadership to get high quality results. And the great thing is that you can do it as often as you want, so you can assess what should be your right strategy right now in relation to a specific market. So in step 9, it gives you here leverage scenario and mitigate scenario, gives you a little summary, and then it goes to step 10 and it gives you a summary report. You just say proceed to step 10. Remember, AI will always ask you before going to the next step, and it'll give you a great executive summary between Germany and Ecuador to use the demand scenario report with all the 5 dimensions analyzed and the forecasting percentages on why, and we'll give the strategy plan. Okay, great. So we'll leave it there for today. And once again, remember, you can use this tool yourself, or you can just reach out to me and consider my coaching program, where I will help you to learn how to use AI, how to use all these tools, apply it to your own case, and even help you learn how to create your own GPTs, because that's what this AI is called, a GPT, your own GPTs, for other cases you might need or want, right? So consider my coaching program or just use the tool by yourself. And I hope to see you in the next episode where we will look into the next AI tool that will help you with market analysis.
AI, in the travel game we go. Got that AI on the low, taking flights to and fro, booking trips in a snap with a simple chat bot flow. AI, revolutionizing how